Okay, so we are going to start the meeting of the library board at 7:07 PM on June 26th. And we have one, two, three, okay, so we have a quorum right now. Nick Tella, Joan Taraskowitz, Jen Tian are present in person, and Kathy Ryan and Joy Rona are on the phone. And it looks like we don't have anyone.
Christina.
And Christina, I don't have to mention your name, Miles, is on the Zoom. And we are recording, and
Who's on this?
Christina. How do you pronounce your last name?
Miles.
Good, you did the
Miles.
caption. Christina
It should
Miles.
come up it should come up as
That's
a separate thing now. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a forum, we're gonna call to order, we're gonna start we're starting with a present to speak. Anyone have a present to speak at the beginning, or does everyone wanna wait if they have anything to say until the end? Okay, that was short.
What about Christine?
Oh, sorry. Christina, do you have anything to say in the, present to speak at the beginning of
Nope,
the meeting?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay,
Thanks, though.
Thanks. The minutes from the May 8th meeting. Do we have the minutes for the May 8th meeting?
I don't remember.
I
Did you copy those two? And also the 12th, I'm gonna go with both of them too?
think we only have to approve the 8th because we approved the 12th before. The 8th was the one that was in limbo.
Oh, okay.
Does anyone have a copy of those minutes? Okay. I have not read these minutes, so I am not really ready to vote on them. Has everyone else read them?
Actually, I think those are the ones I put together,
All right.
and that, yes, I don't think we should vote on them. I
Okay,
think everybody should read them and compare with their notes.
Right.
Because I didn't have much to go on,
okay.
so there might be a lot missing or a lot that's misinformation on that. So please do, you can even email me directly if you want something changed, and I'll try to get the thing changed by the next meeting.
Okay, so does that sound good to everyone? Okay, we're going to table the acceptance of the minutes of the May 8th meeting. And we're on to the director's report. Directors.
So we didn't make a report for this month because there's not really much to report on, and we knew it'd be heavily like budget based, so
Okay.
no report.
Okay.
Oh, I do want
sitting in a box truck, I'm driving. I can't.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
okay. Okay, so, yeah, those tables are made of solid iron.
They were free.
And they were free, and they're in great condition, and they will last until we are all long dead. Treasurer's report.
Yes. Alright, so. I'm not taking
Can I
notes on
ask a
this
quick
stuff.
question before you go on to that?
Oh, sure, sorry.
No, that's fine. I just was curious if any of the volunteers who showed up for the mulch were from E.O. Smith National Amish Society, if you happen to know.
Yes, there was one young I'll say Ben, I won't say his last name, that was, so conscientious and such a hard worker, and quite the gentleman he was for a young person. I was very impressed. So yes, he actually put in 4 hours.
Right, we promoted it. I'm the co-advisor. Just wanted to hear if that was a good report. No names, but I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Very good.
Great. Always good to get our young people involved. Okay.
Alright, so 5/1 to 5/31, 2024. Beginning balance of $78,408.05. May revenues, we had interest of $1,649.02. Donations, $896.25. There was a large one, I believe, from like Mr. Becker's.
Yeah, 600 from him.
Okay. Patron fees, $104.45. Building use, $325. And miscellaneous income of $427. Looks like that was book sales and such. Looking at that. So a total of $3,401.72. May expenses, we had a payroll of $13,778.31. Office supplies of $66.18. Professional development, $200.10. Staff hardware, $720. Staff software, $253.93. Building maintenance of $246.48. Telephone, $155.39. Building, custodial supplies, $121.07. I don't believe last month we got hit with electricity.
Yeah, 2 months.
Yep, so this one is $1,918.13. Miscellaneous of $88.44. Books, $646.87. Audio DVD CD, $291. And outside library resources, $274.62. With a total expense of $18,760.52, with an ending balance of $63,049.25. One thing that I've noticed is that we are usually decreasing our balance of about 22,000 a month-ish. So I would expect next month to have, after the June report, to have a surplus of around $40,000, which later on, I guess we can talk about when we're budgeting, we don't take into consideration our revenue, which was something that Tish had talked to me about today. So that's a talking point for another time.
Okay, so the miscellaneous income, was that from the Friends book sale, or was that from something else?
No, yeah, no, it was from our bookstore, t-shirt
Oh.
sales, the Friends, that's all them.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, there was 2 different books categories.
okay.
Did the donation ever come in from Alcusa?
No,
Am I forgetting?
no.
No.
Okay, I'll contact them.
Okay. And so we are on to old business. The first topic is budget and personnel. Hope leaves this week. So we're going to start with well, this is gonna be an ugly book.
Do you want me to?
If you'd like to make a motion.
Okay. I would like to move we invite Deborah Linares, position of interim until such time as a permanent director, assistant director is appointed.
Okay, so now it's time for discussion.
Can we get a second?
Oh, I'll go second.
Okay, so now we can discuss, okay.
Okay, so discussion.
What does that mean? She's the assistant interim director. Is there another assistant interim director in Hope's stead? Or is she the sole interim?
She would be the sole interim position. We were thinking of putting her into the assistant director position because her skill set fits the assistant director position better than it fits the director position, because the director position includes tech, it includes payroll, various other things that, are not Deb's forte, where Deb's forte is on the assistant director things, and I had that list.
More copies of this.
So how are we in any kind of time yet filling those responsibilities?
Where is that? Okay.
Oops. I have,
Go.
oh, I think I may have just hung up on somebody.
We have another-
So the duties of the, okay, so what we were thinking is one of the things in this meeting that we're gonna do, I have to accept that. Hold on, merge, okay. Is everyone here now?
I'm sorry.
Okay,
And I'm here too.
okay,
Okay, this is Joan, I just handed out the duties of the interim assistant director. These are on your email right now, so if you have a phone or
if you're not
laptop
silent.
or something, that you can pull them up, they're there, they were sent out earlier today.
Okay, I will read through them just so that our auditory people can hear. The first is to train and supervise and schedule staff. 2, order and maintain supplies as needed. 3, performs acquisition of all library materials, media, software, printed materials. 4, manages operations and maintenance of library facility. 5, manages facility usage by outside groups. 6, attends relevant workshops to enhance knowledge, experience, training that pertains to position and library technology. 7, directs publicity efforts to keep town informed of library programs and issues. And 8, cooperates with the programmer when needed to enhance programming. What we were thinking was that a significant number of the jobs of the director will get kicked down the road until we have a permanent director. There are some things that are not ideal, but we can coast for a few months. The items that we can't coast on mostly include the paying of bills, electricity, stuff like that, and payroll. I would volunteer to take on those responsibilities temporarily, volunteer position, so that the library keeps going. But that would be a separate motion and all of that. So this would be, Deb would be in the role of assistant director temporarily. And if she chose to apply for the assistant director role at the end of this month, it would be the same job description. Does that make any sense?
I understand what you're saying, I have a lot of concern with that.
And what are your concerns?
So, the reality is that the director job is gonna get put on there. And
No, I'm covering it. If we vote to let me cover it,
with
I'll
all,
cover it.
yeah, with all due respect, I don't think that's appropriate. I don't know your background in the library and running the library, but just from face value right now, you know, depending unless you've been running the library, right?
Well, that's why, if we did this, I wouldn't be covering all of the library director position jobs. Most of that would be on hold temporarily, things like, I don't have the list of director role in front of me. Do you have it,
Yep.
Well, my other thing
wait, can we
Yeah, go ahead.
talk about
Go ahead.
that? There are some things that, applying for grants, certain aspects of the job, we think we can coast on. Obviously, I wouldn't be attending workshops, I wouldn't be,
Can I speak?
sure,
I think that the discussion should be that Jen is a business person. She's had a business experience, etc., and has some bookkeeping experience. So it would be good for her to just take over, making sure the bills get paid.
yeah.
But that's the important part. It's not
I
making.
would not be director, I would be filling in
Decisions.
some gaps.
The
Yeah.
other thing is that maintaining and running the library are all these things that the interim assistant director does. Those are the real nuts and bolts of running a library. And those are the things that are most important to be filled on a day-to-day basis until we get both a permanent assistant director and a permanent director, when and if those things happen, So that is, that's why I suggested that she do this assistant. It's a good fit.
So just for a frame of reference, a few weeks ago, we had a meeting where Deb had said that she thought her fit was better for the assistant director than for the director. And that's kind of why I was thinking of this, was that
Yeah, I
keep
think,
the job.
I think we shouldn't confuse a long-term position and her making that statement. I don't think we should confuse that with an interim position, right? I think she's better suited to, and first of all, whenever you look at CEOs that step down, or police chief, or fire chief, or even a superintendent, it's never assistant superintendent and interim assistant superintendent. It's always interim chief of police. It's always
We've had
interim.
interim superintendents, yes, it's quite common,
It's
and interim.
to the highest level. It's
are
not
very
the
common.
it's not the one below.
Okay, so,
So I think that first is a point to kind of recognize, right? Again, I go back to Deb is going to end up. Reality is reality. She's going to end up doing a lot of the directors. We can say let's try to push it down, right? The operation of this building does not it's not respectful to the people that work here to push things off and then burden them later, right?
Well, that's why we are only putting off the things that,
With all due respect, I think those that are professionals that have been working here, such as Deb and the staff, should maybe make those choices, right? Not us, right?
but that's
Because we
our
don't
job.
know, but we don't know.
we made those choices.
I know, but now we're gonna put more stress on her. That's what we're
No,
gonna do.
putting
My goal is to try to take stress off. My
Kim.
goal is to remove from her purview the things that aren't stuff that,
With all due respect, can you
So you won't
can we answer
Okay,
that?
sure, but I just wanna explain my perspective on this. My perspective is Deb has enough on her plate. The last thing she needs to do is learn payroll.
I think she can
and
speak on her behalf.
I know, I'm saying this is my perspective, and then I'm going to say, you've got to listen to what I
I know,
say,
but you're
not what you
speaking for her.
want me to say. No, I'm saying, once again, my perspective on this idea is that Deb has enough on her plate, and I don't want to add on to her plate new responsibilities that she's never had. So that was my perspective, and now I'm opening it up. Deb?
I seem to think people have forgotten what it was like for there to be co-directors. Hope and I can do anything that the other one can do, and we have done it together, so everything has been covered. I had said that I wouldn't want the director's job, not that I couldn't do it, but I would be suited more, and as good for part. I do not know much about it. I don't want to know everything about it. My job's here, doing what I've done, I've got, you're right, plenty on my plate. Now Hope Young, and she has young people, her husband comes in and they help her with the IT stuff. We have, the new grant with Novus and CEN and also with TAP coming in. That in itself, and Hope, correct me if I'm wrong, is not a full-time job when that all starts to happen. That is a lot of work. And no, I don't think that I would be a good person to do that. And I just wouldn't be, and I wish I could say I would be. Anything else that has ever gone down or needs to get done in this library, I have done, I do it. And what I haven't done, I hope, when we started off, we did everything together. And then as we perfected things and what we were best at and were comfortable with, we shared. So it became then, I did certain things on my own and Hope did certain things on her own, but even on our ownness of it, we had always shared. I know you guys, when it came to co-directors, the big thing was everybody's so concerned that, they didn't know who to talk to. You could have talked to any one of us and we could have told you what was going on because we talked about everything together. You hear you talking about me wanting, offering. When do I get the chance? I don't know if I want to do this now.
Well,
like this is insulting.
my perspective.
And I'm
What is
disappointed that I'm not an invalid. I can do anything that else can do. Yes, I had an accident, but it has not stopped me from doing what I can do. You talk about stressing me out and whatever, this stresses me out. Okay? Not me doing my job, you not letting me do my job is stressful. And this is about interim assistant director, but I'm going to be doing the director's work. And I've been the director, so now I'm like I have a job on this new budget because you totally took Hope and I out of it, and I have to now apply for the assistant director. I can use here, the director is the one who picks the assistant director.
That's true.
Not the director. So since we're the director, we're giving me the job. How's that for you? Because we're still directors for another couple of days. And there's just so much that is, like I said,
The board is in a situation here where we have to decide what's best for the library.
and
When you choose people for jobs, your best thing is to match skills with job requirements. And so that's why I suggested you do the interim assistant director. You do these things.
I do this
them
and more.
well.
I do everything.
Okay, so there's another piece of this that I don't want to say, but I think that going from an intern to full-time assistant director is a darn good, easy step. Going from director down to assistant director may not work that well.
That's what you're doing to me.
You're an interim.
There's
No,
no
you're
difference.
not.
I was a co-director. What do you think that
With
is?
certain things, you had better skills or more developed skills, and with other ones, Hope did.
Who do you
And we
think
know
taught
that.
it? Who do you think is going to be teaching the new director
Did
when they
you
come
tell
in?
her?
And who has taught the last two directors before Hope and
I'm
I?
gonna cut the discussion because
And
you
I
will
thought-
base this on
Deb
this.
and Hope, you both are cross-trained in basically everything, right? Sure, you might do something better than Deb, and Deb might do something, but you know and understand each other's job.
And it was always for the betterment of the library. Not ourselves, or what we were, we made sure that as we divvied it up in time, that this library did not suffer in any way, but they got the best of us.
So, how much, I don't know, damage is the right word, maybe it's too dramatic, I don't know. But what kind of impact do you see if you were just to push off? I don't even know what duties would totally be push off, but what kind of negative impact would happen if we did something like that to the operation and to the staff?
I don't know where there would be any negative.
Do we even know what we would just stop doing?
Yeah, we would, here's the director.
You have to pay bills.
The
You
caucus,
have to do
We
payroll.
took care of that.
we took a look at the duties of the director. And there were some things that, not ideal, but Deb can't do two people's jobs. She can't do it. Nobody can.
She has been doing it.
Can you, without hope, you can do everything without hope and.
You prioritize, you
I'm
do
sorry,
what's most
I'm sorry.
important.
Well, can you speak on her behalf?
Yeah, so a lot of what I do, and you know, Deb and I have worked well together in the past. A lot of what I do is on the computer. It's payroll, it's paying bills, it's staff relations. So, I mean, right now, I didn't know what was going to happen, so we've been working together through payroll, and personally, I have a whole set of director's notes for whoever, because I had no clue who would come in the position. So it's not like it would be totally gone to the wind and there's no instruction or direction.
So she can do both jobs.
No.
Oh, she can do the job that you've been doing too, right?
I mean, that'd be for her to say, but I mean, I've
But from
shown
your
her,
observation,
so
But from your observation.
yeah, she knows how to do it.
Okay, the other issue here is qualifications. And so if we hire Debbie as a director, it would have to be on an interim basis.
Sure.
Because the director would have to have an MLS. So I think it's better not to play that game and just go right to an interim assistant director, which will keep the library running. Under the plan, everything will be done that's necessary. The things that won't be done are things like reports, so we have to figure out how to do that at the time. But a lot of the director things are more, what do I say, ephemeral than.
More long-term,
Yeah,
visionary stuff, structured grant applications.
things like that. And so if we have somebody doing this and not taking care of scheduling the staff, because this is the interim job, and isn't managing the facilities, we may end up with a bigger problem. So I think because this is interim too, and hopefully will evolve into full-time shortly,
So
that we can waste a lot of energy.
can we get some input from our other two board members that are not here in person?
I'm just curious when this plan got hatched. Did I miss something?
I missed it apparently.
In other words, Jen, you're volunteering to take on part of the directorial job and you know, to Joan's motion. I'm just curious when this was even decided.
There was,
or not decided.
it's not decided, this was there was a caucus meeting, we put together a caucus last night,
Who's we?
Okay, the members of the caucus at this time, and Kathy, I wanted to invite you in once you were, in person. I couldn't get a signature from you yesterday. Excuse me, my voice is going. I couldn't get a signature from you yesterday because you weren't here, so I couldn't invite you into the caucus. We made a caucus.
This was after the meeting?
After the meeting.
Because Karen Ann hung up the phone and I thought that was that, so.
Well, it wasn't, yeah, we, to bid a caucus in the town, there needs to be a written letter to the town stating the names of the members of the caucus, and they all have to sign it. So I actually have a document here with me that would add you to the caucus. If you had come today, I was gonna ask you if you wanted to join and sign, but.
Yeah, I'm out of the state for a while, so sorry about this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize you were still out of state, I lost track of that.
Right, so yeah, I just was, I clearly am not in on this.
Right.
But I just needed to know how this came about.
So we met for our first caucus meeting today at Jones Place. And we were trying to figure out how to deal with this issue where we have one person who, you know, we're going from two people to one person in a temporary position and trying to figure out what absolutely had to get done.
Respectfully, who's we though?
We includes, Karen Ann Caldwell, Joan Taraskowitz, Joy Rona, and myself.
So we had a representation from both political parties.
Also,
Is this the?
So why wasn't I ever told about this?
Because you don't have to, because we can't have two people, it is a Democratic caucus of the Democratic Party. We are allowed to have one member that's outside of the Democratic Party.
It's got a bad taste.
It's
What you
the
guys said.
way it's
I
done.
understand that you can do it,
It's
got
the
a
way
bad
it's
taste.
done, and we invited Joy.
Piece of this is, I did not write these duties. This is what we decided as a group when we did the duties of the director. And
That was 2 weeks ago. I think
we had
Karen asked the director and assistant.
that led most of the discussion.
So.
Over the things, and we were like, yeah, that makes sense.
John,
I'm sorry, we have a bill right now, we're gonna build a motion. That is, we looked at the director position and the assistant director position with their, duties that we had done. I don't remember, it wasn't, I think it was 3 meetings ago, but I might be.
I know we voted, I don't recall us voting on the actual descriptions, but maybe we did it, I may be wrong.
So we looked at this and, you know, we were thinking that since Deb was, it sounded as if, my understanding was that Deb was interested in the assistant director long-term.
Did we talk to her about
Yes,
it? Or we assumed?
yes, no, that was during the meeting that you attended.
Do you recall that?
Nope.
I was the who suggested who you should contact for doing the directing, and I said then I have to do the assistant.
That's what I just said, is that you would be interested in the assistant director.
The bottom line
And
is
then
here.
what, is this caucus, did it also, did you stipulate what pay rate they would be?
No, we didn't.
Potentially offering?
We were just looking at we were looking
Yes and no.
we were looking at the, what the interim position would be, what would include in job description. We didn't make any specific, I mean, it was just a spitballing. When you're in a caucus, you're just talking out ideas, you don't vote on anything.
Okay, so the bottom line is this, is that as of Monday, Hope is not gonna be here to direct us and tell us what to do. And, okay, so we have nobody in the office then. As of Monday, we have no director employees.
What do
That's
you mean?
it, we have, no, we don't. Oh, that's,
Because your
no,
job is
wait.
done
I'm
on
not insulting.
the.
no, the reason for that is because of the change in structure.
We're finished.
Okay, she didn't understand why the position ended.
The position ends, thank you, because that's the end of the fiscal year. And we had kept that position for 1 fiscal year. So my feeling is, holy mackerel, what do we do? Somebody's gotta put the lights on, somebody's gonna make sure that things that flow here. So my thought was, rather than go out and find another person, we invite you to fill this position, this is an interim position, and, until it becomes a permanent, which it could do.
When we decided and had it for 4 years to do co-directors, was that not the purpose that if somebody was to leave for whatever reason, there would be somebody who
No,
could take over?
What you told me is if one of you leaves for any direction, you're going to quit. That's what you told me.
No, yes, you said that numerous times.
Oh, that was teasing kind of thing.
No, you said,
Okay,
So,
I don't want
Can
you.
Can I ask
I
one
want
question?
you.
Oh, that was because I
Hey,
wouldn't just
hey,
work with any director.
we're in a meeting,
Okay.
one person talks at a time.
Okay.
Deb, let's hear your input.
And nothing, I'm fine.
Okay,
Because
let me just explain my perspective. I was under the impression that we were ending the co-director position at the end of the fiscal year and starting this new structure because we don't wanna change structures mid-year. So July 1st, I was under the impression, and that was why. We could consider, and it sounds pretty silly, to, keep Deb's current title and put interim in front of it, interim co-director, but that seemed kind of silly without
That's
another
not
director.
correct. No, we changed. We are only budgeted to pay a co-director until June 30th.
That's true.
Then we start. So let's not make this more complicated than necessary. Okay, so the idea was to invite her to do this. Hopefully, something will break before too much longer and it can become an assistant director, can become a permanent position. And then we can hire a director. Who knows what's gonna happen in then. The other thing,
I just want to check in with Joy, because we haven't heard from Joy. Joy, do you have any thoughts that you want to share with the committee?
I am just everything that's been going on. And yes, I do agree that probably the easiest way to do this is, and I know I'm probably going to be stepping on people's toes here, to do what Joan had recommended. Deb gets the assistant director job if she wants it. And yes, we are only budgeted to pay until the end of the year. So we need to make a decision about this tonight or by Friday. But since we're meeting tonight, I suggest it be tonight.
And I really don't want to this week.
I think you're right, Joy.
I agree that Deb, probably you cannot do everything that the director.
She left the room, so
What?
Deb has left the room, so you can't speak directly to Deb right now.
Oh, okay, all right, I did not realize
Yeah,
that.
she
I don't
just
have
left.
my phone.
Okay, well,
I believe, that's what I believe. I believe that we should offer her exactly the motion that Joan had made. That would be the easiest for everybody. If there are some things that Deb cannot do, obviously she's not gonna be able to do two people's jobs by one person. I agree with Jen stepping in and helping out, and we can discuss that further in the meeting. And that's all I have to say on that.
okay. So is the next step, I'd kind of like to move.
I think Nick still
Question?
has stuff he wants to say, or you do not?
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. If I was them, I'd feel insulted. Honestly, I think this is insulting to her. She's able to do the job. There's a potential. Let me please finish. There's a potential for her to be in this situation.
I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry, I'll move my
I can't
phone.
hear- I can't hear either.
I let
Here,
move my phone
I'll move
closer to
closer
Nick.
to it. So I personally think this is insulting to Deb. She's able to do this job. Sure, does she want to do this for 5 years? Doesn't sound like it. But we understand that one way or another, we're going after a director. I think she's capable and potentially willing to step up as an interim director in the meantime, right? There's a potential that we don't have anybody in, who knows, until the winter time, right? So are we gonna go with an interim assistant director and volunteers to cover, or just not doing any of the director's jobs from now until December, October? Who knows, right? I think I mean, as it is right now, what my impression is she's not even employed in July 1st, right?
No,
And
so that's
heavy weight
worrisome.
on her.
Yeah.
I think the respectful thing, and she's able to do it, is give her the direct interim, I can't speak, director position, give her the pay, and she understands that that's not gonna be full-time for her, that's not gonna be forever for her. It might be 2 months, it might be 6 months, but she's gonna end up going potentially down if the director hires her as assistant director. That would be her next step, if she even wants it. I mean, if I,
Okay.
yeah, I won't go there.
Skill set doesn't match this, and her background doesn't match it.
Which is why she's not gonna get
I
hired.
don't think that we should put her into a job that we know she's not gonna be able to keep later on. This one she can.
But that's the point of an interim director. It's not,
No,
it's
the point of the
part-time.
interim is just to hold, is a placeholder.
Correct.
Okay, but I think she should go into this, which has got a better chance of morphing into a full-time job.
I think it's disrespectful to her.
She
works hard.
I don't think it's disrespectful. If I come
That's a
into
fair
a job interview
Disagree.
and I don't have the skills necessary, you know, if I need a doctorate in physics instead of a master's or something, I'm not gonna get the job.
She has the skills.
We don't know that she has all of these skills, no, because every time we have something going on, it's Hope that does this part and Deb does that part. I'm trying to be.
Hope is stated that she can do the job.
Together.
But Hope has stated she can do the job. And she's even
You
admitted
feel
that.
that Debbie can do all of
I mean,
these?
I can't speak for her. What I'm telling you is that before this meeting even happened, I was talking to her to get ready for her to take on that's just what we were assuming was going to happen. So between the notes I have and showing her my part, that's what I'm saying. Can she do it all? I can't speak for her, but I can tell you what I know. And
Did it seem like she had mastered those skills when you worked with her?
no, because I was doing it.
She's not
No,
the master.
when you were training, well, she needs,
So she hasn't been fully
So
trained
because
on
she's
it?
not mastered, then
Listen,
just
no,
leave it
listen,
where nobody
listen,
does it at all?
no, what I'm asking is, okay, mastered may not have been the right word. Do you think from what when you were working with her, do you think she's ready to take on payroll and,
Personnel issues.
For short term.
the online stuff?
I mean, it probably won't be out of her realm of capabilities, but again, like, I don't want to be the one to speak for her between what she's got going on. That's for her to
Well,
say.
has she been doing this?
No.
Well, we know that she hasn't been doing it. My question is, you know, when you're teaching somebody how to do this, with anything, whenever you teach someone how, either they've got it and they're like, got it, or they're like, and I don't know. I mean, I would have a tough time personally if I were in her position picking up brand new skills when, you know, and I
She's got the baseline though. We're talking
do we
about,
know? Do we know?
she's been some of the baseline skills. Hope has said that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna move the question. Okay, we can go up or down and go from there. What do you think?
Okay, we are moving the question.
Okay, does everybody agree that we move the question?
Fine.
Okay, Joy?
Yep.
Okay, so reading the, motion was that we invite Debbie to fill the assistant director position.
The interim assistant.
Oh, yeah, didn't I say that?
No.
Interim assistant director position. Okay, and I don't think we have to get any, okay. So do we want to ask her if she would like that job?
I think that's fair, yes.
Okay, that's the motion, is that
I
we
would-
invite her to do that.
I will say yes.
Okay, aye,
Joy and
To
Kat.
ask her, yes.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna abstain. John, can I ask one question? Can you repeat your motion so I make sure that I have it properly written down?
Okay, it's very simple. We're just going to invite Debbie to fill the interim assistant director position. Okay?
Okay, is there any time frame added to that?
No, because that comes in on the contract. Okay?
Good,
And it's
thank you.
inviting her to fill it. So, it's not inviting her
Or
to
to apply or
to
anything like that.
apply, to do anything else.
It is,
Just, are you willing to step in on Monday and help out? Okay?
yes, so we're gonna, the motion is to offer the position of an interim assistant director to Deb.
And wait, didn't the motion originally have, Jen's role?
No, we are, that is a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, that's another one. Okay.
Okay, this is very simple and just so that we can offer her the job. Okay, and it's up to her if she accepts or turns it down. Okay, do we want to look at the contract?
Okay, well, I just wanna make sure, I couldn't quite tell, I think I got ayes from both of the people on the phone, but could you identify yourself an aye or nay?
Joy, I was an abstention, but now I'm gonna say aye, that I got that clarification.
Okay. That brings us to, I guess that brings us to whether or not we are interested in my offer to fill in with some of the computer use stuff such as payroll and,
We don't have to vote on that.
do we?
I don't
we
think
do.
so.
I think we have to vote on that, cause I can't just decide to do stuff.
No, I think you offered to volunteer. Do we have to vote on that? Well, we can vote on it.
I think it's just, I think I would feel better if we had everything done, as officially as possible. So I had offered to, I offered, privately to Deb, a week ago, I don't know, several days ago, to come in and, help out at the library with whatever gaps there were. Today, when we met in the caucus, it seemed as if some of the gaps would be tech-related and stuff that's done on the computer, such as payroll, some of the bill paying is online bill paying, and things like that. That seemed to be the biggest gap that needed to be plugged right away to get us through this interim period. If people are comfortable with that, I'm willing to. If people think that's icky in any way, I'm totally willing to step back. But I'm just trying to figure out where I can help deal with any gaps that appear. So I will, I feel weird making that motion, so if anyone else wants to make that motion, we can open it up for discussion.
Well,
I'll make the motion if you want me to.
oh, that would be nice.
That would be nice, Joy.
I make a motion for Jen's support in offering to help out Deb, who's filling in as the interim assistant director, in regards to helping out with tech and payroll associated,
Stuff.
activities. I lost my train of thought there. I can't think of the right word I wanted to say.
Okay, I'm gonna rewrite it a little bit, I think, just because I can't remember what you said. Motion to accept Jen as a volunteer to help with payroll and other financials.
And other
Tech related.
and tech-related stuff.
Okay.
Activities,
And
much more professional than stuff.
Duties, how's duties?
Duties is good.
That's the word I was looking for.
and this would be until I can't
Until
even read my.
a director is
Okay.
chosen or I shoot myself.
Want me to put that in?
No, do not put that in there.
A new director is installed.
Installed or hired?
It's hired sounds better.
hired, I don't care which.
Yeah, it still sounds like you
Plug them
put
in.
a light bulb.
Okay, so now we can open for discussion. Just for those of you who are keeping track at home, Deb and Nick are now not in the room. Do we still have quorum? We still have quorum.
Can I ask why Deb and Nick are not in the room?
3, 4. we got
Deb
4.
became upset and she left, and a few minutes ago, Nick left to go speak to her, and neither has come back.
We still have a quorum.
But we still,
Okay,
okay,
I do need to speak to somebody, but on a later topic later.
okay. Hopefully, we will get people coming back, because if people keep leaving, we're gonna have problems.
Does anybody have any issues with having somebody?
Or
come in
concerns,
and-
or
No.
Okay,
Kathy, do you have any concerns or ickiness?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just don't, love you, but I don't really know anything about your background. I don't want any hurt feelings on Deb's part, but I also feel conflicted because I don't think her technology acumen is as strong as it needs to be, nor does she have a degree.
Right.
So I don't want her going out alone. So quite frankly, and I also feel weird that I wasn't part of the caucus. My bad.
I
And
understand.
that's on me. And so not seeing any of this on paper, I'm going to abstain. I can just tell you right now.
Okay, that makes sense, and no hard feelings. Honestly, and I know people are gonna interpret this in various ways. Honestly, from my perspective, I'm trying to make, at the same time, make everyone feel like they're valued and get the job done. I don't care if people, there's no hurt feelings, believe me. If you all say nay, I'm probably gonna be like, yeah, I don't have to do it. No, no, but I don't feel at all like if you vote against this, I don't feel uncomfortable. I just thought, to me, from my perspective, it was the easiest way to make sure that all the boxes got checked during the transition. So,
Right, and I respect that.
But
Since tonight's the first time hearing of it, I don't feel like I'm qualified to make a responsible decision in either direction. And since I'm not there witnessing Deb's, stress, I just don't feel like I should have a vote.
and that's valid and appropriate. I hadn't heard of this idea either until a couple of hours ago, so I'm still swallowing it myself. Can you, yeah,
Can I say something?
sure.
The reason why I am okay with this is only due to the fact that I know Deb is not going to be able to do these duties. Therefore, she should not be given the director job. She should be given the assistant director job. But she has herself said to us on many occasions, she can't do it all. And she's even said tonight that Deb and Hope did things together. With Hope not being there, that's going to be a total different ballgame for her. She's always had somebody to help her.
And
Be it Brittany covering for when Clavel left, or Chrissy helping the new director for a couple weeks before she actually left. She's never been on her own. I have a feeling when Monday comes and Tuesday and Wednesday, she's going to say, I bit off more than I could chew. And no doubt, I've known her for decades.
And,
So that's the only reason why I'm going with you, Jen.
I-
Nothing against you, but I also don't know what your background is, but you're the only one that has stepped up to offer your services. I know nothing about check and line. I would be the worst person in the position. But that's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth.
And I know where we're at.
I think, one minute, I think that, Joy, the bottom line is this, the bottom line is that we're not only getting Jen, we're gonna end up with some of John's technology
Yeah.
experience
yeah,
to advise us,
Yes.
so.
Right.
for better or worse, my husband,
That's right.
it will facilitate anything that I need help on.
Right.
He's,
Okay,
And Deb shouldn't look at it as a slight or a slap in her face. She should look at it like, hey, I'm fighting off more than I can chew, but I
got people who wanna help me, maybe I should take their help.
And I can understand where this is emotionally fraught and it's difficult to view it that way when it hits you like a ton of bricks all of a sudden at a meeting. I'm hoping that if this is approved, as we go forward, that,
And she's always been in the assistant job. I don't understand why it's so difficult for her tonight, but I don't wanna keep
I think
going
it-
on.
yeah,
Okay, let's not
that-
talk
yeah,
about it
so-
when she's not here.
right, so if,
Okay, so the motion on the board, on the floor now, for Nick's sake, is to accept Jen as a volunteer to help with the payroll, the other financials, and the tech, related, duties.
Okay,
So
Until,
we're in discussion?
until a new director
Yes,
is
we're in
hired. We're in
discussion.
full discussion now.
Okay, Nick is back.
Nick,
So-
sorry, Nick just came back about 3 minutes.
So
Okay,
I-
all right, thank you.
So I don't know which way she's, I don't know if she's gonna accept it or not, right?
No, we haven't given her the contract she can accept.
Yeah,
We voted on it.
yeah, well, we've decided to
I'm
give her that
talking about
position.
for Deb.
Yeah, we're talking about that.
We voted to
Oh,
accept.
yes, yeah.
What if she doesn't accept it? What is our situation?
That's gonna be tricky, that's gonna be, honestly, she does have us in a position where we could end up having to close the library, we could. We could end up having to pull in, we could be having another meeting like this next week, pulling poor
Why
staff.
would we do that and not just offer her the director's intern? Why would you close the library for the town off of a?
She can refuse the director position too,
If she could,
so I
but
don't
you would
think,
close a library before offering an intern? I'm asking, cause that's what was implied.
what I would say is that I would offer her the position that we feel she's most qualified for, and I really hope she accepts it.
Who's
We, the board.
Okay, well, I don't agree with that. You're
Well,
speaking on your behalf, because I
Okay.
think she's qualified.
Well, we already offered it to her with our vote.
so, yeah, the decision
Not
has
for the
already been
director,
made.
we've offered this.
No, yeah, we've
Yeah.
offered her the
Yeah.
assistant director, and it's been voted on.
So she's
and it's
qualified
done.
for assistant director,
Yes.
and I feel she's more qualified and could do director intern position.
And you seem to be the minority in that, which is why.
I'm
we
always in
voted.
the minority.
But
I mean, there's
that's.
caucuses behind my back, which
Well,
is.
the caucus is not behind
But
your
we
back.
won't go there, but,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I think we just put ourselves, and I don't know which way she's gonna go, I really don't, but I think we put ourselves in a very unique situation to where you're jeopardizing the library to the town off of, which,
You know what?
She-
the bottom
it's
line
crazy.
is-
She is, well, she has been saying, I've heard her since I've come on the board, and I know we've all heard it too. If Hope leaves, I'm leaving. So I'm not sure she's gonna sign any contract.
yeah, I don't know, I really don't.
Because I think it's a wild card regardless of the position, and I don't feel it's appropriate to give someone a position that I don't think they're qualified for.
But you think
She-
but you think it's appropriate to shut down the library?
No, I don't think it's appropriate to shut down the library.
Instead,
We
we do have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
We've already.
To at least offer. Anyways, I think at this point, we're going circle to circle.
Yes, that's
So,
true.
but the vote right now and the discussion right now is on the question of the motion, whether or not the library wants to accept my offer to help out.
I don't think any board member should be acting in a volunteer situation where you're operating day-to-day operations. There's no
So you're
way.
a nay.
Absolutely nay.
So Nick is 100% nay, Kathy, okay, 1,000% nay. Kathy
Just
has,
what I wanted to write Nick's comment, it was important.
oh, sorry.
Okay, no board member. Okay,
I do think there's a little bit of, conflict of interest, as a matter of fact, so.
Well, that's why I would be doing it as a volunteer, not getting
I
paid.
know, I get there's no profit, I get that, I'm going to abstain.
Yeah, Kathy says she's
Yeah,
going to
okay,
abstain.
I've already got that. Should,
Joan's writing down, Nick's comment. And then we
I
will
would
get,
guess you would abstain, right?
yeah, I think it's only appropriate for me to abstain. Don't we all agree that that's only appropriate that I abstain? I'm gonna abstain just because I feel like that would be the most appropriate thing to do in this.
Agreed, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna vote nay, yay rather.
One or the other, you gotta pick one.
Aye, I'm gonna put aye. Okay, Joy?
Joy?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yay.
Okay, so I think we'll go with that plan now. Everything is subject to change. If you get in there and you say, this is not gonna work, then we have to really find perhaps somebody who is an accountant or something.
And we can also see if, we can also change this, we can offer her if this doesn't work out, okay? Say we get a week from today and the whole thing is falling apart. We can then consider offering Deb a interim director, if that seems to make sense. Or there are lots of options before closing library. I kind of said that as a flip response, but we can also pull in volunteers of people to fill in the gaps while we're in this interim position. Whatever holes need to be done, and we can, meet it out. No answer is ideal in this situation. There's nothing that's gonna be perfect and nothing's gonna make everybody happy.
I just want to say personally, like whatever you choose, it would be nice if you guys talk to the staff because they have their own opinions and some would be willing to work more hours it's just they don't get talked to. So I would say if you want to go to the staff, you find a lot of help there.
I can do that as of July 1st we can. Until then, we can only talk to you two and you guys can talk to the staff.
My bad.
Yeah, it's awkward. I visited yesterday. I came in early. I was hoping to get one of you in because I forget what your work schedules are.
Right.
And neither one of you were in. And I had to be really careful about the conversation I had with them.
Yeah.
And, we were kind of shooting the shit and talking about the library, but I had to be really careful about what I said so that I wasn't undermining you two, until July 1st. Yeah. It's quirky.
So if we.
Okay.
We have voted to offer her the job, so I guess it's only appropriate that we offer her the contract. And it's up to her as to whether she signs the contract.
Wait, no, we have to approve the contract.
Oh, okay.
We can't just pull out something that you wrote up. Nick, here's a copy of the contract. Okay, sorry. I can.
Oh, yeah.
I can scooch too. All right, I'm scooching. Okay, so I'm going to read the interim assistant director employment contract. Joan put this together in the last couple of days, I guess. In the last couple of days, based on some stuff she got from she found.
This is based on the Connecticut rules for contracts.
That's what it's based on. Okay, sorry, I should have let that be. So I'm going to read it because we have some people on. Was this emailed to people?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Karen might have sent it. She might not have.
It may or may not have been sent. If it has not been sent, we will send it. So.
I think she did. I haven't had time to read through everything.
Yeah.
There were 2 attachments.
Well, you got a whole load of stuff today.
Okay, so I will read the contract. It says, title, Interim Assistant Director Employment Contract. This agreement is made on this day of the blank of blank, 2024, between Deborah Lenars and the Willington Public Library Board of Directors, parentheses, employer. Both parties agree and covenant to be bound by the terms set forth in this agreement as follows. 1. Employment. Employer shall employ employee as an interim assistant director of the Willington Public Library commencing on July 1, 2024, and ending at such time as a permanent assistant director is appointed. Duties and responsibilities. 2. Duties and responsibilities. The duties and responsibilities for this position are attached. In addition, the employee may be asked to perform other tasks common in this position from time to time. Okay, so yeah, we do have to vote on this because this has a salary in it. And we have not agreed to any salary amounts. So this was compensation A. The employee will be paid for 35 hours a week at an annual salary of $45,000 prorated for the term of employment. There is no overtime pay for work done in excess of 35 hours per week. C, the employee is eligible for health insurance through the town of Wilmington, Connecticut. D, the employee will be paid for federal holidays when the library is closed during the term of employment. 4, benefits. 2 weeks of vacation time, parentheses paid, and 5 sick days, parentheses paid, are offered per calendar year of employment. Any sick or vacation time that is not used at the end of the fiscal year, parentheses June 30th, and or the end of the employment period will be forfeited. There is no monetary compensation for not using these benefits. Termination. This contract may be terminated by either party by giving 2 weeks written notice to the other party. There are no guarantees of severance pay should the contract be terminated. 6, extension. The contract can be extended with the written consent of both parties. The length of the extension will be determined by both parties. And then it says signed, signatures, plus printed names required, employer, employee, name, date. That was what Joan wrote up. We can make alterations to this tonight, but we do need to approve some things so that we can offer contracts since we are coming up July 1st is coming up quickly. Yes?
Is there anything in the contract in regards to sick days or vacation days or anything like that?
Yes, under benefits, it says that 2 weeks of vacation time and 5 days of sick time are offered per calendar year. Those would be prorated. We should probably put something in about them being prorated for the term of employment. Yes, and then the next sentence is, any sick time or vacation time that is not used by the end of the fiscal year and or the end of the employment period will be forfeited. There is no monetary compensation for not using these benefits.
I understand hearing that. Thank you very much.
May I, speak on this?
Sure, of course.
Alright, so compensation A, we haven't really gone through the new job line or items and everything, right? We did talk about approving a director, assistant director, which we did. I know there's been numbers out there, 57,751 for a director, and assistant director of 45,000. I think the 45 may be appropriate. Could see justification for a little bit higher, but we'll keep it at 45. When it comes to vacation time, and I know there was something just mentioned about prorating. I can understand that being done with somebody that may be new and hasn't had vested time in to the library, but somebody that's been here for a while, I don't think we should be prorating that.
Well, it's for your calendar year of working, it's almost impossible to prorate that.
Okay, okay, so I will erase my comment about prorating. So she would get 2 weeks of it. The only thing I wanna make sure, and I mean, this is just, dotting i's and crossing t's kind of stuff. I don't wanna offer a contract that says 2 weeks of paid vacation, 5 sick days for a 3-month position. Cause that's a lot of vacation for a 3-month position.
Well, that's why it says for your calendar year.
Right, but the position only lasting 3 months, it might, or 4, we don't know how
We don't
long
know
it's
if
gonna
it'll be
last.
9 months.
Right, then that's why I was thinking,
I think no matter what,
we can cut out the prorating.
Yeah,
I was
and-
gonna pencil that in, but we can get rid of that, sorry.
and the other thing is,
I don't even know what prorating means in that, is that like a ratio of time?
So that's like, if she's worked, say she's worked, so that's 10 days of vacation time. So if she's gone through a 10th of the year, she would get 1 vacation day. Like that?
yeah,
Okay.
and especially she would maybe want more than one in that first first month, because
Well,
she's gonna have a lot
she
on.
also has a week rolled over that we've given her
And
for
there's-
last,
No, it didn't roll over, we're not rolling anything over.
last meeting,
We did not,
We
no,
offered her.
last meeting, we offered her 1
Correct.
week for this following year.
correct, that's not a rollover though, because it's still gonna be 52 weeks. I
Yeah.
think there should be, because we only budget 52 weeks.
Right.
So, and also benefits, we also had approved 3 weeks of vacation. This should probably state 3 weeks of vacation, since this contract is specific
Well,
to Deb.
This contract is.
That's an interesting
We were
point.
gonna write that as an MOU, so we don't need it in the contract, okay?
So that should go hand in hand
And the
with
other thing
this.
is that hopefully this will continue, because she will become the, the permanent
Permanent
director,
assistant
assistant director. And so that's the way we wanna do that. The problem with figuring out how many days you get, like 1 out of 10, is that people get down in a job for 6 months, and I get so many hours of vacation, or almost so many days. If you wanna take a week vacation and take your kid someplace, take the week, whether you actually only have 3.5 days or 4. I don't like that.
Yeah, but they wanna get paid.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
They
should get
paid,
it.
yeah, they
right.
should.
The only concern I would have, this is it's something that I think we can kick down the road if everyone thinks it makes sense, is I would, these 2 or 3, including the memorandum of understanding, if you were to become assistant, I mean, I know you're not gonna do this anyway, so it's kind of silly, but I'm just dotting i's and crossing t's. If you were to let's say you started, I don't know, September 1st in the permanent position, that wouldn't be another new 2 weeks of vacation and another new
It's a
5.
continuing.
Right, it's a continuing, and that's just, we'll have to fiddle around with our language at that time to make sure that that's clear.
Well, I think that should be now off the get-go. I don't
Okay,
think we
so
wanna,
It's per calendar year of employment.
That is what it says, okay.
So if it morphs on to longer, it continues into a new calendar year, so that she doesn't miss anything.
Oh, so
Okay,
Deb,
so this is the,
sorry, we are voting on you have it? Okay, sorry, I didn't know if you had it. So we are voting on whether or not to offer you this contract. And if now is the time to make any alterations.
yeah, I think the pay should be increased to $45,689, using the 4.6% increase of $15 to $15.69.
what was put on our budget?
It was on 45,000, we budgeted, and I've been asking for an updated, approved budget, which I have not gotten yet. So I don't know, no, from the board. The last figures I have, which come from February of 2024, was assistant director of 45,000. Now, if some of these jobs were minimum wage, $15, if I'm correct, right? So if we went from $15 to $15.69, it was a 4.6% increase, baseline, right? It's not appropriate to give somebody that's maybe making $20 an hour, 2% increase, but yet the person's making minimum wage getting 4.6. I think that should be applied
So you
across the
think
board.
that this would put her in line with everybody else in the building?
Just from a percentage standpoint
Okay.
of what the assistant director is being made,
$45,000, what?
$45,689. If you take the co-director's pay right now, $43,680, and multiply that by 4.6, you come out to that 45 and change.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
I had been under the impression that our 45,000 was taking into that account, but if it was not, I am.
That was only a 2.9%.
Okay, I am comfortable with that.
Okay, so we do not have to retype this. This can be written in both parties initially.
Yeah, you can initial.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go through the retyping,
I.
because we'll never get it signed in time,
Okay.
But that's the way you do with a contract, you
Right.
never change.
You can- One line.
In ink, one line,
And date,
initial and
and
date.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so with a salary of $45,689, okay, so then The motion is, and I'm making it, okay, so Joan gets one, who's gonna second it? Nick's gonna second it.
No, wait, you have to
For
ask
the,
it.
just for the, yeah, I'll second. If we're making the increase, yes, I second, I second.
You can't
Based
do.
on that. No, I second. Well, I proposed it, it's implied.
Okay, because my hand's scratching. Okay, to accept the contract with a salary of $645,689 instead of $45,000. Is that complete enough?
I stand by changing the benefits to 3 weeks, but
Well,
Others shall
then what happens then
input.
is they're gonna end up with 3 weeks every year she stays.
Right, and that's why.
she should. It should be increased. The longer you stay at a job, I mean, I usually see
Well,
it
that
cap
is
off.
something we can do later on.
That's something we can discuss.
That's a good
in the-
discussion for later.
Yeah, that's something.
Typically, you see it capped off, and I've seen 4 weeks usually capped
I
off.
know, but then we have to,
The longevity.
adjust everybody, so.
So, but we can look at that when it's
Tonight.
time to do our permanent stuff. But this, with the memorandum of understanding, ends up being 3
If you wanna
weeks.
counter it that way, then sure.
And then,
If that's
and then we
it.
can,
Sure.
when we make our final permanent, contracts, we can look into what we wanna do for, vacation and
Okay.
sick time.
Could we have the ayes identify themselves, please?
Wait a minute, let me make sure there's no more discussion, any more discussion on the contract?
Have you corrected, mistakes and stuff?
Were there mistakes?
I read it aloud, and I didn't see
see.
these spelled right.
Well, then, you'll just have to change it.
No,
here.
let's have some respect for Deb.
Yes, we'll have to change it on.
And we will retype, and you can send me the file, I will retype it, I will bring it down tomorrow and offer it to Deb.
Well, yeah, because I didn't think she would sign it tonight.
I honestly, I will have to, I've never been good at how your
Okay,
name
so
is
how,
spelled. and I
how should
haven't-
it be
It's just
spelled?
DEBRA.
Oh, okay, I thought it was the last name that was spelled wrong.
Okay,
And when you have under number 1, so I have an issue with interim being used. Do I have, and I can't really guarantee, so when I'm going to do this for you guys, at the end, am I gonna have a job here? And will I be the permanent assistant director, or do I have to go through some kind of rigmarole to prove myself?
That's a fair point.
Answer that.
That's a fair point, and that discussion maybe can be put in right now. Can it be just, if Deb wants to guarantee her spot going forward as assistant
No,
director, why not?
can't guarantee it, but I hope it works that way.
Well, I don't know if I wanna be using
Yeah,
this stuff.
No, because that's the part of an interim.
But we're
And
acting,
but we're
Thing
not
is,
able to
We,
hire full-time because that would be the director.
that's the.
so, but if we don't have a director who, and say people leave, we would go with nobody, who would hire? Director,
We
who
would
would hire?
hire a new director. The director hires anyone who is not the director. So any other person that is not the director gets hired by the director. So once we hire a director, we legally can't, or the way the structure of the board works, we can't offer her a position for
So
once the
July
director.
1, we can offer her a position, if she walks in at 8 o'clock, well, I don't know what hour, like, but she walks in, here's a contract.
We
Because
can't,
there's, why not?
because, oh, I think I get what you're saying. Wait a minute, let me see if I get what you're saying.
Sure, we have a special meeting, we show up. I mean, I think we could do it now, but if we have to play by the book, then, okay, July 1st, we walk in,
Right.
and the board can hire.
That's an
a
interesting
co-
point, I hadn't
co-director.
thought of that, As of July 1st, there will not be any co-directors anymore, so that at that point, we legally could offer her a full-time
I'd like to
position.
see the legal, I know you said legal twice, I just would like to see it in writing where it says legally we can.
That's the structure of the library, it's in our
But
bylaws.
it's gotta be quoted though, if
It's
we're
not-
saying it's law, we gotta quote the
well-
law,
It's in our bylaws.
but that's not legal.
Our bylaws are legally binding.
Okay, I would like to see it, I'm just,
And
you might be right, if we're gonna say it's legal, we need to be able to
So-
reference with legal.
right, so we're kind of in a horse and cart situation. We can't offer Deb a permanent position now because We're not the there is a co-director. And I know this is
Is it possible to reference it?
possible. You want me to pull out the,
I mean, I'm not gonna
I
drag this
can't-
meeting till 1 o'clock in the morning.
I can't on
But
my
I'm just
phone,
saying-
because right now my phone is, being a phone. And that is where the bylaws are listed. But the bylaws do say, and it's something that both Deb and Hope have expressed multiple
It's true
times.
that the board is only, has power over the director as far as hiring and firing. Anyone under the director, that is the director's responsibility, which why, even what you did on the budget was wrong, but there's, any staff below the director, they hire and they fire, you do not have a say.
So Hope could hire her right now.
Yeah, or I could hire each other. Or whatever. Actually, yes.
She would have to come up with a contract, we have to have one already.
We got one already. Change some verbiage.
That's interesting, I had not considered that. That would give Deb,
It gives her assurance that she's gonna have a job.
yes, and that's important.
Which even as of July 1st of this year, I wasn't so sure that was gonna be the case either. No one had been talking to any of us about.
Is that something we can move forward with?
How do we feel about that? And let me open this up to discussion for the phone people and then for Joan. Phone people.
I can't hear all of you speaking, so is the idea on the table that we would set something up in a more permanent fashion now while they're co-directors and having the authority to do that? Is that the idea?
Yes, we're suggesting the possibility that Hope hired Deb as the permanent assistant director as her like parting gift to the world.
You just
Yeah, but I'm just trying to make sure that we don't break
No,
any
yeah.
rules. That is what we're considering. And I'm opening it up for the phone people right now.
No, it doesn't work. Because that would be changing the structure.
No, because
No,
it
it
started
doesn't.
July 1st. Starting July 1st.
Starting July 1st, it does work.
You can't hire her on July 1st. You're not a director.
Also true.
Okay, can you see that? Now we've got a technicality.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, but if Hope has no director,
But she,
No, that's not true.
if
Because I've
Hope,
seen people hired and
Is it-
then that person's been fired
yeah,
and they had already made the hire.
right, if Hope were to hire her starting July 1st as a permanent assistant director tonight or tomorrow or between now and July 1st.
Authorized to make that choice.
Yeah.
You're authorized to make that choice. You can, that would
Her
solve,
role has not been diminished just because she's leaving.
that
As of right
would,
now, she has full authority to do that.
right, that would solve a lot of, conflict and it would make us follow the rules that we are under with bylaws.
It happens. People hire somebody and that person got fired, it happens in life. There's nothing,
it would be cleaner
sure, would we like it cleaner?
for
Sure.
the board
But
to just offer employment as the permanent assistant director. That's
But we
the
can't do it.
clean-
Yeah.
Yes, we can do that.
on July 1st.
Well, the contract starts on
July
July
1st.
1st.
Yeah, either
I don't
Hope,
understand how that theory works, but the other theory doesn't work.
Okay, because
Because we can't hire.
Because Hope, if she wants to hire somebody, would have to be for an assistant. Because if she's hiring today, that's the job.
I thought it was for the assistant.
That's what she's
It is
doing, she's
for
an assistant.
So.
She would be hiring.
It's just to
Jen
give her job
already is
security.
assistant.
right,
No,
it's,
she's not, she's a co-director.
no,
I think our,
does that have to resign effective June 30th in order to be hired
no,
in
'cause
capacity?
no, because the position ends, that's one of because we're changing our structure as of July 1st, both co-director positions end and the director, assistant director positions begin. So I think that,
So let me hire her as the assistant director. That way she has job security when there's not a director and
I think this works.
I think so too.
And you can even borrow our handy dandy contract that we made. And you
Oh
can-
yeah, please, I'm not making anything else.
Here, and you can even make sure you spelled Deb's name right, because you are better.
Well, I
at
got a
that.
copy, but
Okay,
can you
that
send me the document?
And again,
Joan has the document, would you mind sending it to Hope?
Hope's role has not been diminished. She's here until 30th. She can technically hire people. But
And
just,
right, and if you decide not to hire Deb between now and then, we will hire her.
Well, it'd be better thinking of Tish too, because she needs these numbers.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
20
like
years ago.
yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like before
So-
the budget was approved, she needed
how do you
numbers.
feel
Yeah.
about that?
Is that,
Yeah, what do you feel?
yeah, that's important too.
Well, I think that's something nice to get, considering I've been
Oh,
here
yeah.
18 years, so that would be, I'd agree to that.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think
I've been consistent here, so yeah.
I think that, I personally think that that makes sense. So
Yeah.
Nick, would you like to make a motion? Or, and then we can further discuss if we have to further discuss.
Well, we were just in a.
Oh, it's not a motion
We were in
because-
discussion.
It's not a motion because yeah, Hope has all the power with this.
Yeah, I can.
So in that case, I think we should table the motion, which will then end up making it moot because it won't happen. Does anyone else have any, phone people? Where are you guys at?
What was the motion, or what did you say in regards to Hope exactly, so I can write that down, please?
Hope suggested, and correct me, oh wait, help write it.
So there's no motion from me to make Deb assistant director because I can't do that. There was a motion that was on the table. What was the motion?
It was to accept this contract with the salary.
Yeah.
It was a salary change motion,
Yeah.
which we probably should vote on.
We should probably
Yeah, we should
finish
probably
this.
vote on
Yeah,
that.
we got derailed there.
Okay,
Yeah, so with
Okay.
that being said, I think we should probably make the change 2 to 3 weeks in here, right? Because this is gonna be,
but we already have a memorandum of
We're not gonna offer her 3 weeks of vacation.
okay, we'll discuss that another
So we
time.
can do
Okay,
everything
we'll
else.
discuss that another time.
That wasn't part of our agreement.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I'll fight that out later.
So the suggestion was that Hope is still Hope and Deb are both still co-directors until July 1st. So Hope is in the position to hire Deb as a permanent assistant director.
Oh, wait.
According, basically, plagiarizing our contract. No, but using our contract as a guideline. And she would be hiring Deb permanently, and that leaves the board out of the hiring of Deb as a permanent assistant director.
Yes, correct, that is correct.
Okay. Okay, the motion that is on the floor right now is to accept the contract with a salary of $45,689 instead of $45,000.
I think it should be tabled because we can't. the
Yeah,
contract is-
our
means nothing
contract
to us.
is
It comes from
meaningless,
her.
because Hope is going to offer, she already has a copy, is going to offer a contract to Deb. So we can't make a contract because it's not our contract.
But the board would have to approve contracts.
We would have to approve it, but,
Yeah, so once she makes
Once
a
you-
bid,
once you-
she'll come back.
yeah, once you bring it
Oh,
to
we gotta
us,
do
we
that
will.
now, though.
Choo-choo.
Well, we gotta do that now.
Don't we have to vote on the salary change, though, that is on us, right?
That is on us.
Yeah.
How about, what if
You
we,
want to challenged it all the way.
what if we make a motion that the permanent assistant director's pay be $45,689 when an assistant director position is filled?
For 2 weeks of vacation.
Yes, with 2 weeks of
The
vacation.
rest of the benefits. we-
Yeah, with the rest of the benefits listed on our,
Sure.
yeah. Is there anyone who finds that abhorrent in any way?
No, so you made a motion, right, that's the motion now?
Yeah,
That is the motion.
And who made the motion, Jen?
I made the motion to,
Okay, and Kathy, second?
I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
I'm not,
Aye. Okay, is it unanimous? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's good.
thanks for that idea, I hadn't thought of that.
So now, once you drafted it, we don't need to approve, we've approved you to make it, right?
Yes, we have approved that position. Do we need to make a motion that if
We authorize Hope to
hire
draft.
at that amount?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're good with that.
Okay.
Does that make, is
Are we
anyone?
clear,
Yeah, that's what I wanna check. Does everyone understand what's going on and feel good or feel okay about it?
or feel good?
When she signs, does this go to the board as well, or just in her file?
Just do this offer, like how will that communicate convey?
Hope you can email us and tell us the contract's signed? Is that
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Can I send it just to the group and, okay,
Yeah.
that's perfect then.
Karen would have to sign it for the board.
Oh, all right, I'll send it to Karen.
Okay,
I don't know.
no, because she's the person doing the hiring, she would be the
The
hirer.
board needs nothing to do with it.
Right,
Okay.
so where it says employer, it wouldn't say the board of directors, it would say your name.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
I think that's a good answer, although it's awkward and weird.
Okay, so I got a motion for Hope authorized to hire Debbie as the permanent assistant director. Who made the motion?
I think,
Is it
I don't know.
Sure.
Okay, we'll give you the first, okay.
Nick?
And I'll second that, okay? All in favor?
Aye.
I can't hear you. I think we could do a discussion again. Wait, was that the same motion?
This was authorizing Hope to hire Deb.
What, we need a motion for that?
I think
I think we do.
because when she comes back, it would have to be approved, and we want to facilitate, so we're approving ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
Aren't you just
Wow, yeah.
authorizing the payment?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Okay,
Just
all right, maybe I'm wrong, maybe we don't have to vote on that.
Authorizing the pay amount, and we did that.
Weird.
We did the pay in the.
Okay, so I think we're,
Okay, I think we're done.
okay, so are we done with budget and personnel
You're
for
good.
tonight?
So can we just go over, because Tisha's gonna need,
Per hour.
yeah,
Because
she's gonna need the hourly and salary for, we have the staff, but those first two positions, so now what's the director look like?
Well, we haven't authorized a director pay yet. We just.
Yeah, we don't,
So what do we tell her, cause she needs to put all this together?
we can't do that until we hire someone, because we have to, there'll be a.
No, she needs it.
But
I
she
talked to
needs,
Tish.
yeah,
I think
she needs to put
pay
the money in
for
a-
person for a position that doesn't exist yet.
it needs to go in a line item.
What was it on?
So,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What was it on the budget? We had those.
Well, there were
Yeah,
so
but-
many, Deb and I were confused, cause there was so many different ones.
we never approved,
We don't have.
I could have sworn.
because we can't, because that's the director's job to approve.
Cause we,
So we have different numbers, we looked at all our.
Cause she
sheets.
needs the
Oh,
whole,
I do have 1,000 different ones.
We don't have anything. It's all there.
yeah, cause we have the staff and below, and we even have all the line items, it's
But we
just,
wouldn't even approve technically the per hour, right?
no, you're right, it would just be that director's,
Just how much money is going towards
the director.
the
Director's
director.
line item.
Yeah, cause then now we know Deb's, and then we know the rest of the staffs and the whole
Yeah,
rest,
but Tish
so I
needs to
can-
know what per hourly rate for how many hours and what, well, not so much how many hours, but what's the hourly rate. So when when we submit those, the payroll sheets, whatever, she'll know what to pay them per hour.
But if-
And now with that added percentage that they did, those are new figures that we didn't have.
Well, that's like Nick said, that'll be up to us, like you said earlier, dividing and seeing what that would come out to per hour.
That's what
Cause
we're gonna do.
cause the money's already in the line, so I agree with you and just divide, and so this way I can give her that full budget as long as we know.
And are these the right numbers that you sent me? Do you have, is that the right numbers?
That's the last that I
Different
have.
that we
Yeah.
have, so
That's the last
we'll
I
go by
have.
that, but we don't have these.
But I feel like that's the last one we have. We've never approved those numbers officially.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I thought we had approved that officially, but I can't prove it.
No, because it was discussed that we,
Yeah, so do we want to, it was,
so it was based off of this sheet that I got. This is the last sheet that's been drafted.
Okay.
In 2/14/24. However, the Board of Finance, I think, did not approve. From my understanding, the Board of Finance said, hey, you were caught some money, and we've not received an updated one of these. Sure, there's a chicken scratch on the back, but.
We don't have this.
would you mind making a few? Thanks, appreciate it.
I'm sorry, the sound is getting very poor. What are you talking about?
We, never officially decided how much money was going into the director's line item. And that needs to be done, we are waiting for a town budget to get approved, so that we knew what we were dealing with.
I don't know that we ever got any.
Well, do you want a little?
It would be really nice if a Board of Finance person that happens to be in the room
This is the thing,
could
you
talk
guys
to
are
us.
trying to do a lot of really detailed stuff and legal stuff at the last minute. So, don't
I thought we
don't count me
I
as,
thought the one
I
had 54,000.
had 56,000.
that's,
Okay,
56,000, I'm sorry, I'm going off my head here, but I thought we had already discussed this.
but we had to wait to see what the town approved for the budget. Steph just coincidentally happens to be here, so we're going to take a moment to ask a Board of Finance representatives for some information.
no, well, all I was gonna say was that the I think the sheet that Nick had is a proposed budget from you all.
Right.
We did not give you your full request.
Right.
It's incumbent on you guys to revisit your budget and figure out what the
We never
numbers
did.
are and where you would cut from. And some of that may be salaries, because your entire increase was pretty much salaries.
Right.
So that's where where your growth is all in salaries. So that's, that, I don't know that that's something that you can do on the fly
No, I
tonight,
don't.
especially without your chair here or anyone else.
Right, I think
But-
that we should,
But the other,
Yeah.
so
Which
there's
summary
that.
of what Steph just said?
Steph just said that we didn't get as much money as we requested, so we're going to have to be making changes on our, tentative budget, as it were, and that, that's a lot of stuff to be trying to do on the fly. And I kind of agree, I think we should table that
I
discussion.
can't give you dollar figures, but my basic recollection is you guys asked for pretty much a 10% year-over-year increase. No one got that.
I know.
No one got anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I think we ended up signing off on, and by the way, I think you should count yourselves really lucky that you were cut in the two ways.
Oh,
During the, there were, you guys, I think we gave you 5%, right at 5% growth year over year. The other question I have though, are you all aware when you're talking about 4.6 raises that the town employees are not getting anywhere near that, they're getting half that, if that one, I mean, that's the presumption. That's what the, is.
Yeah,
It's
so,
sort of, and so there's that. I mean, I don't know, I don't wanna get,
No, I
I don't wanna
get
get thrust
So-
into this.
so my
process
mindset
at all, but
on that is that we
just so you know.
do have some people at $15 an hour, correct?
Right now, no.
Oh, so on the sheet that I had, it was $15 and we were gonna bump them to $15.69.
Well, and that was before the page position got erased when you guys made those three.
But I'm saying right now though, for this fiscal year, is there
For-
anybody at $15 an hour?
No.
Okay, cause there was a sheet that was handed out that had
Oh, the 1569, yeah, one of our employees, she does half processor, half page. So that page position would have been at the 15, that's now the 15.6, so yeah. So there,
Yeah, there was a case where we lost it because she gave. her
Okay,
a different
so,
position.
okay, so, alright, first of all, we're good with Deb, right, on that package? I know we
I
sometimes
think-
hopped around.
I
on
know,
something, yeah.
I think right now we're on to a new topic.
Okay. So, can I, so,
Sorry.
I have not gotten a new proposal sheet, right? This has not been updated since Board of Finances, made their corrections. Alright, so the numbers that I had thrown into Excel, we were seeing the director obviously was gonna jump massively, that jumped 24.4%, to the proposed 57,751, which is reflective on that sheet. That sheet had a reflection of 45,000, right? I did use a 4.6%, but I may have been incorrect in using that because my impression from some of the documents was that we had people at $15 an hour. If that's not the case, then we should probably be on par with wherever the town is, right? Which makes assistant director higher than what it should be then, but it is what it is, we're past that, right?
Yeah, we already.
So with that being said, what's the town?
Well, they're still finalizing contract
Sure.
negotiations. The expectation is it'll be pretty flat year over year.
2.5,
Right now,
I think
I
it's
think
around
it's a
2.5,
2.75.
2.75, okay. I
Well,
know we're not town employees,
I mean, I
right?
think that's the,
I just had a thought. If the town hasn't made their final, budgetary stuff, can't this wait until next week?
the town has, the budget passed.
Right, I know the
That's
budget
proposed.
passed.
You guys were not cut further in your overall, but you still need to revisit your budget and figure out where in your, probably in your payroll lines, because a lot of the other stuff is fixed, and that's where all your growth was, where you're gonna come down. Unless you have other ideas,
But that doesn't have to happen tonight, does it?
well, it does if you're setting salaries.
yeah,
I
Trish
mean,
needs
otherwise
payroll.
you're setting a salary and without, I mean, I don't know. I would do it that way, but.
So,
You can.
It seems crazy to try to redo our entire budget at 8:49 PM.
yeah, but we did it to
This-
ourselves.
This fiscal budget, so the problem is, okay, on February 14th, okay, that's the date here. We had, if for the director, 55,983. And we had for the assistant director, $45,991. Okay, so that's what we had in February.
Yeah, and then this came out way after. You have the sheet. That came out a month or so, maybe a month or two ago.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that we don't have another one of these
Correct.
since then.
I've asked for it, and we haven't.
I know you asked for it before the budget was voted on, and we said we had to wait until the budget was approved. Because we needed to know what we were dealing with.
Yeah, but we should have revisited, knowing that we got corrected from the board.
Well, Deb and I did go over and sent you guys where we went through every line item that wasn't salary, because we knew you guys changed those 3 positions, and we cut where we could, but Karen Ann only wanted to talk about salary, so there is that. I mean, you'd have to have another meeting, so work's been done, but we don't know the salaries, Deb and I, so, well, especially for those 2 positions, we know our staff, and it just.
So excluding assistant director, I plugged in what their 23 salary was.
Yep.
And times it by 2.75%. Assistant 1 comes out to $11,763. Now, what that per hour is would be based off of your knowledge of how many hours they work in a year, basically.
Is that the position you're talking about? It's not an hourly position. Should be a salary.
Assistant one.
No,
Well,
that
we're
one
trying to-
is,
That's another,
That's
that's
an
an
hourly,
Well,
yeah.
you were just using that as an example.
Yeah, I went through, I haven't calculated director, I mean, directors here, say C2, okay, so C2, that salary, divided by 52 weeks, divided by 35 hours, comes out to $31.73, right? Assistant director, using,
I have a stupid question.
sure,
My stupid question is, we've established the pay rate for Deb, and we already have the pay rates for the people under the co-directors figured out.
we don't. We don't.
I thought we did.
No, we have not established that yet. So with assistant director, dividing $45,689 by 52 weeks, divided by 35 hours, comes out to $25.10.
We can't do this tonight. We can't. There's just no way that we can get an entire new budget done tonight. We can make another meeting for fun.
We need to table it, not on the agenda, I'm sorry to let everybody know.
Yeah, it's not on the agenda, and
So what do we say to Tish?
yeah.
we still have a few days to pull it together.
Steph, what's your opinion on it?
I have a quick thing, will any of you guys for the quorum if I head out in 5 minutes, which I need to do?
Yeah.
Or no?
I'm gonna fade into the sunset.
I think we need to adjourn this meeting, because I think we're all done.
Steph, can I just ask Steph,
Yeah.
what's your take for that?
There's so many things in my head here.
No,
No, I think, you know, you may not have to do every single thing in your budget, but you've gotta keep in mind how much it has to come down, and that you want your payroll especially to be in sync. So I don't know how you guys do your payroll, but the way it's usually done is it's in relation to the, you know, to the staff at large.
Mhm.
And so, you know, you don't want like to go in and just fix this one and do this one and then,
Yeah.
and then you mess up the,
That's how we do
you
it.
mess up the special dance
So,
that a good payroll is. So that's all I'm saying. I think you could revisit your payroll, you know, and figure out of that cut, what do you take out? Find other places if you want to protect as much of the payroll line as you can. But I think it's gonna be really hard, because if my recollection was all your increase was in,
Yeah.
pretty much all of it was.
And that's not
in
going to
payroll.
happen tonight. We can,
I'm sorry, short version of Steph said,
Steph was saying that there are a lot of positions to look at, and we can't just look at one and not look at the whole big picture. And my
there's only 7 positions.
addition was, it's like 9:00 at night, or it's 5:09. It's not on the agenda, which means we shouldn't even be talking about it. And
you might ask Donna, or, cause I don't know that Tish really should be handling the payroll.
should be what?
I
I'm sorry.
don't know if Tish should be handling a payroll question per se, but I would ask Donna actually, what is, you know, first of all, verify your payroll line, what is it, or, you know, what is, or verify your overall budget, cause that's all the board of finance deals with.
Right,
You guys have line by line
Right.
jurisdiction. So do that first, but then ask her, can you set ballpark number, or not a ballpark, a pretty precise number, and adjust it like as you go in, like add a whatever codicil to the contract and specify it after you've had a chance to figure out your budget.
Yeah, because you guys had, we sent to you $280,292. And then what was approved that I noticed on, the budget referendum was $263,962. So it went down plus or minus, almost $12,000, right? It came down from when you guys did your thing. Now, does that percentage that came down, do we take the other salaries down that percent? I don't know if that's necessarily
Was your
appropriate.
year over year request first request, was that about 25,000 more?
26.
Yeah.
And then
That
we
sounds
ended up,
about right.
yeah, and then, it ended up being about 9,900 based off of that.
How long ahead of time do we have to give, notice on a meeting? It's 48 hours?
Like 24.
24? I think we need to schedule a meeting to discuss this. When, yeah, how about tomorrow or Friday?
I can do Friday, I can't do tomorrow.
Okay, Friday at 7 PM?
Well, not all, be all.
No, I know, but I'm offering that up as an option. Friday at 7 PM to discuss this? Does that
I
sound,
may not be available or available for only part of the time, but I'll do my best.
okay?
I'm still out of town.
Joy, are you available Friday at 7?
And we do it at 6, Friday night family night, and I don't want to cut into my family time, I'm sorry.
The 6 work?
I can make 6 work.
I think 6, Joan, Joan.
Even if we just spent how much time on the budget, half the meeting, but half hour, 45 minutes? If we do it at 6, we can end at 8 and have 2 hours to discuss the budget.
Okay,
Well, 6
I know we're going to be so long.
yeah, I am going to make a motion that we finalize our budget on a meeting this Friday at 6 PM. Please say there's no discussion. Does anyone
Does it
have?
have to happen before July 1st, or is my perspective?
I would assume so.
Yes.
Yeah.
My understanding, it seems like it does have to happen before July
For
1st,
payroll.
which is why I suggested Friday.
I just want to let you know, one of you will have to do Zoom because I have Rye, I won't be able to come.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Nick did a really
I've
good
worked
job with Zoom, he's our Zoomer.
Okay.
I just said I'll do my best to be there, but I'm still away and it'll be trickier, but I'll try.
Thank you for making the effort to, I know vacation is special and you don't really want to spend it doing this stuff, so I appreciate you coming in. And everyone agree to that?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have one last
I'll
person.
for an agenda, you know that, right? Someone will make an agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well,
A board concern.
Well,
You get
our,
these
We got
papers
ARPA.
and they're not dated. So we get this, this budget and that one, and there's no date on it. So we don't know what, you throw them in the
Yeah.
file and you try to sequence them. So let's try to make sure that we put a date on it when everything is given out. And it'll make things a lot easier.
I just wanted, we didn't go on to ARPA, RFP.
can we,
I'm fine with table, I just wanted to mention.
yeah, I would like to suggest tabling that. I also wanted to ask about the tech grant, but I'd like to wait on everything else because I think I personally am fine.
So, yeah, so if we're board concerns, I just wanna say something real quick. Any financial discussions that are going about any employee, I feel as a treasurer, if it's coming from the chair or any of us, well, I am the treasurer, but anybody, even at the director level, I think the treasurer should be copied on that.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
have concerns that there may not have been in the past, and I wanna rectify that situation,
Okay.
so.
Okay, and
You should write that in the minutes.
I agree with that, sorry to interject, but I also would like to make an extension. All monetary issues need to be, before they are approved, they do need to be approved by the board for Robert's Rules of Order. Like, no one of us, secretary, treasurer, chairperson, alternate, whoever, we cannot make individual decisions regarding financial issues without going through the entire board.
right.
Yes, and I actually just, I know people wanna get out of here. I wanna touch upon something real quick, cause I had talked to, was it Sherma? Sean. I don't know if you've talked to Sean or anybody's talked to Sean. So the town was paid back 65%, which there was an email that came out. And a lot of that is what Sean was saying. Technically, the board does not have to pay out 2 weeks of vacation. However, typically, entities do pay it out. In these situations, this talking to Sean, because she did not get the ability to use it because she was injured.
That's why we gave her the 1 week.
Just one second,
to have on.
one
Oh,
second.
sorry.
Yeah, so typically, he sees it where people do pay it out. The board does not have to, but my understanding is that we've gotten about 4,000, I don't know if you have a number that might be different, but I was talking to Tish today, and it sounded like we got about $4,000 from them. So we're over, one second, we're over 4,000 on that. So there are money, they may not be in the proper line item, but because we're in a fund balance, Tish said that those numbers, that money could be given to Deb to pay out the 2 weeks that she never got the opportunity to take.
Could you email us and ask that to be put on the next agenda for Friday?
No, because Tish needs to make a pay cut, a check tomorrow. Otherwise, she can't do it.
Well,
We have already.
we already voted in the last meeting to not pay out. If we
So-
wanted to address that.
So I wanted to find out who has that motion, so we can reread that motion. Because I don't know if we voted on that particularly.
Joyce will bring it up.
I believe we voted on giving Deb 3 weeks,
I thought we voted on giving her
and I could be wrong.
a week carryover, basically,
Mhm.
in lieu of your suggestion that we pay her out.
I can clarify this if
Go ahead,
I'm
go
able
ahead.
to speak. I
Yeah.
can clarify if you get it out of
Okay,
it.
you know what, we were just heading over to,
Okay.
what is it?
Present to
Speak, present to speak, thank you, I'm losing my mind.
Okay, here it is.
So here it is.
To what you said about Sean, okay? You guys are conflicting what you voted on as somebody who can have 3 weeks vacation as an employee, okay? As an injured employee, and I'll give you the statute if you need it, if you want, I'll give it to you. As an injured employee, because of what you had said, and Sean did verify, because there was no opportunity to take the vacations, nor was it required for an injured employee to take the vacations. The town, as the insurance would normally do, the town got reimbursed. You weren't aware about the vacation issue until it was brought up by me. And once that happened, there was another situation, we don't have to get into at this point, but at the end of the day, the issue of vacations that were reimbursed, monies that were reimbursed to the town are specifically to pay out to an injured employee. And again, I have the statute if
You
want.
were going
Please,
to,
please,
wait, I was just gonna ask, last night I asked you to have copies of these things ready, do you have those?
Well, I'm gonna give you the statute
I
because
didn't hear what you said.
Okay, can you move a little closer, I'm sorry, you're kind of, oh, whoops, sorry, I'm moving in the wrong direction.
just to keep it very simple, because you folks did a lot of hard work yesterday and you solved a couple of problems, but that was for an employee, okay? In terms of the injured employee, because there was no ability or requirement for that employee to use, I'm gonna use vacation time,
Okay,
okay? There was a reimbursement to the town for it. Okay? And as an injured employee, based on this statute and another one I can give you if you want it, she's entitled to pay. Or when I say she, a person is entitled to that pay. Now, here's the caveat, and that is-
okay,
here's
okay,
what,
yeah, all
here's
right.
what makes this happen, okay? This is why this happens. When a mistake was made concerning sick days that were then reimbursed,
Yes,
to the employee, right? That was a function of the employee. All well and good that was reimbursed, but that doesn't relieve anybody's responsibility, or does workman's compensation agree that the employee should be penalized?
how is she being
In terms
penalized?
of the vacations that she was not able to take as an injured employee, and she's still on light duty as we speak.
Right.
So to your point about the money, when all is said and done, the town got X amount of dollars. I'm not going to bore anybody with that. Okay, you guys know all that. It's none of my business. But at the end of the day, when the final reimbursements come in, your library is going to be either between $500 and $1,200 to the green, even when you shell the money out. for vacations, which the law says you have to.
Okay,
It's kind of that
you
simple.
were going to give me hard copies of those, tenants today. Yesterday you said you
I
would.
will give you a list of all of those. You can look.
No, I asked you for a hard copy today.
Okay.
To take home, so that I could review it.
Now, where does it say that we have to pay vacation when it is a policy that vacation not used is not reimbursed?
Well, we haven't provided that evidence.
I can answer that question if you like.
It is that this was done a while ago, where's Miss Joy? And when Joy was on the board, okay, this is a long-standing issue, number one. Number two, we did make a mistake. We made a mistake in shelling out any pay before the workman's comp got involved.
But I can answer your question.
Okay, we should not have done that.
And
Because that messed things up. But we did it because we wanted to make sure that you didn't miss a paycheck.
But we can't penalize the vacation time.
We are not penalizing the pay, it is.
Can I next speak, please?
Yeah.
I personally need documentation of that I asked you for last night. If you can copy it in the room right now and distribute it to us, that's great. Otherwise, I need you to come Friday and bring that, because you're saying there's a statute with no documentation.
Well,
And I asked you to please bring it today.
Well, let me help you out with that. I'm not required to give you that. I'm trying to give you the information that you guys can then go out and
But I
discuss amongst
asked you
yourselves.
to please, and you said
But
you
the
would.
burden's on us. The
And
burden
I-
should be on
But I
us.
asked him
I understand,
to.
but the
The
burden should be on
it's
us.
done. It's done.
listen,
We had a vote a couple of years ago, whenever it was.
But there's
We're not
nothing
gonna
in
get
policy.
Okay, you're still in a meeting, you still have one person talking at a time. Thank you.
Let me straighten this out for you.
I'm gonna give you a
Please.
talking stick pretty soon. Jamie, you have just a couple of minutes and then we're gonna go around the room and talk, so please limit your comments.
It's very, it gets right back to it. To your point, you're talking about an employee that's not hurt when you talk about the vacation payout.
Yeah, it's nothing to do.
But,
Oh, okay, so
so
I'll
that's why
give
I'm
you those
asking,
examples.
can you please
I will
give me the
give- I'm
statutes,
gonna
I
give
really
you-
appreciate it.
I'll give you the case studies, and I will give you a list. There's nothing on here that's that I can see, and I will give you this.
Sean is the guy who works at Surma. Surma
He's
is
handling the
the,
case.
workman's comp person.
I'm just gonna finish up with it.
Thank you.
Once again, that workers' compensation is clear on this, and I'll give you all the documentation
I
you want.
would appreciate it.
It's a payout because the employee did not have the ability or could not take because of the injury. It has absolutely nothing to do with whatever the vacation policy is. They are two separate issues. They're completely two separate issues.
Now, how many years has Debbie taken the vacation?
That doesn't matter.
I mean, it doesn't-
How many years have you done that?
It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't make a
Take your
difference.
2 weeks vacation.
I've never done 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's a completely separate, it's a
I know
completely
you
separate.
mean at one time. Have you been able to take 2
No,
weeks?
you would, no, they would
Okay.
never offered, even though it's
Okay.
full-time.
It's a completely
Okay,
different
so
situation. She's
the bottom
injured.
line is
Okay,
that things are-
Back to one person talks at a time. It's Joan's turn.
Okay,
It comes back to the same thing. Okay, you had 8 months to take that vacation. Now, if you were one who took vacations all the time, I'd be a little more sympathetic. But the bottom line is that you want us to pay you money for work you didn't do, for work that is not in the budget, money that's not in the budget.
That's what
Okay,
I'm
okay,
You
okay.
chose not to take those vacations.
Okay, we're shutting you off.
Okay, so,
Can I say something? I'll
I
probably
would-
let everybody else.
Go ahead.
Okay, for the state of Connecticut, vacation is not required under Connecticut law. In Connecticut, an employer is required to offer employees vacation benefits, either paid or unpaid. These are decided between the employee and the employer. And on the Fair Labor Standards Act for the United States labor, it says the FLSA does not require payment for time not worked, such as vacations, sick leave, or federal other benefits or other holidays. These benefits are matters of agreement between an employer and an employee. Therefore, there should be no discussion about this. We're not paying it out, period, end of story.
Okay, Joy, I will give you a turn next, I promise. I just wanna make sure that everybody is understanding. Jamie's stating, and, I'd really love to have Jamie is stating that it is different in a case of a workman's compensation injured employee. And I know, Jamie, that it is not your responsibility to do our legwork, but I would appreciate it if, in this situation, knowing that we really are trying to do our best, if you could give us that statute, because we don't wanna break the law. And if that's the law, I am more than happy to do whatever the law says, but can I?
You go online, look at it right.
Your workman's comp person should be putting something in writing to you about how this is.
Yeah, okay, so,
He did.
okay,
To the
to the board, he needs to give up to the board.
It was given to the board.
It was given to Tish and Karen. Would it be okay with everyone if we table this until Friday?
No,
We have,
because she needs to cut a check.
This injury is crossing, the fiscal year, so it doesn't have to be done by tomorrow.
Technically, she could pay something out next fiscal year.
Yes.
However, I mean, it's black and white, the situation.
It's-
We're basically gonna pocket money off of her.
It's
That's
black,
what it is.
it's black,
Bingo.
And
We're
the
pocketing
other
money
thing
off.
is, the books don't close.
the books don't.
For us, because she said it was cost basis, I guess for us it does. Town can go for 2 months, for library it closes. That's what Tish said.
Okay, but we are,
I think you should check with Donna, because
we need to
Yeah,
talk to
yeah, that's
Donna
just-
that's
about
not
this,
the case.
and we need to talk to.
Yeah.
Is there something that I could get a copy of, please?
But,
I'm gonna give it to you.
but for me,
Oh, thank
it
What's the
seems,
statute number?
Statute number?
I'll give it to you. It's 31-284B. And that has to do with a hearing request if she asks for it. But there are also amendments to that clearly, it's clear in there. It's clearly in there.
we're basically making money off
Oh
of
yeah,
her.
go back and read 31 dash what?
It's 31-284B. Workman's compensation statute specific to the application or unauthorized use of sick day or vacation or other benefits concerning an on-the-job injured employee. And to Joan's point, there were mistakes made. Nobody's saying they were made on purpose. There were mistakes made, but unfortunately, the injured employee does not have to take any vacation or sick day, nor do they lose it. Injured employee, nor do they lose it. And the reimbursement has gone to the town, and part of it has to do with, we're not talking sick days, because you don't pay the money with it, fine. Nor do they lose it. And she's still a limited hours employee.
Yes.
Okay, so that's gonna, so he can look up the statute. I can give you all kinds of copies of case numbers, I don't need it. Somebody mentioned the labor board stuff.
Okay, I didn't know if you had the statute,
We don't have
right
to
there.
talk about it.
Okay, let me just break down the statute one more time.
And the only,
Do I need to read this?
yeah, read it.
The whole thing?
Okay,
There's a bunch of
No,
stuff.
no, you do, well, whatever, let the board decide what you want to do.
what is the statute number again, please?
31 dash 284B.
284B.
And there's 5 subsections to it. What were you referring to? Which subsection?
Well,
A, B, C, D, or
it
E?
must be B, because I have B at the end here.
Okay.
By the way, this is first term, just to let you know.
Subsection B just says employer may provide such equivalent accident, health, or life insurance coverage.
I got it. Okay.
Yes, but all right, but there are other connections to that based on this.
What connection? What other
So I'm gonna tell you,
statute?
based on this, workers' compensation has what's called a compensation review board. And I don't wanna give all the specifics, because it's a lot of drawn out stuff. But at the end of the day, to mention what you said, some of those reviews are based on this.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give it to you, right? This is what's called a humanitarian workers' compensation case. It's not a statute, but it's the guideline that the commission board review uses. when they're looking at cases, in this case, vacations, I'd be more than happy to provide you, if you want those, you can have those. But in this case, vacations. And in each one of the cases I provided here, the specifics about the beginning of it have nothing to do with vacation until they get into the actual issue of vacations. And there's 4 cases here. You can go online and take a look at all of that. And that would be the, like I said, conviction, whatever.
Okay, so
You guys decide.
I need,
a letter from Sean.
we need a letter, we need to talk to Sean, we need a letter, because we need to know exactly what our responsibility is, because we want to.
Sherman won't give you that letter.
What?
Here's why. Sherman's only thing here, all they do is reimburse. They don't give it, they don't give it up.
Okay.
And then the money goes appropriately. But the 6, you want the email, you can use it, you can have my copy. But that letter states, put the stuff back in the bank. In other words, repopulate the vacation bank. You mentioned 6 days to get those. Repopulate the vacation bank. And the town's gonna be reimbursed for that. In that time, as an injured employee, in that time, she had no opportunity to take any vacation. As a non-injured employee, you already took care of that photo. But as a, well, you know, with all due respect, Joe.
So,
It's baloney.
excuse
No,
me,
it's
wait,
not.
I have a question.
It's baloney.
Who,
You know-
Okay, please.
Ralph Archer is the guy from CERN, correct?
Ralph Archer is the person who picked this up because Sean McMillan was on vacation. Sean McMillan
Okay.
is the original adjuster.
Okay,
Ralph Archer put all that information together. There's a sheet that shows you whatever it shows you, but you probably got another check after that. I believe you looked into the $4,000, whatever else they're gonna get after whatever day you called him. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change it. It does not change it. The town was reimbursed, and part of that money was specific to not deny her right to have vacations paid out as an injured employee, not as an employee who didn't get a vacation or.
You are right.
whatever.
Okay.
Talking to Sean, you are right.
we need to, get some kind of, we can't make decisions now.
And that's fine, but just going forward, why would the board even consider making money off of Deb in this situation?
I don't know that we are, and that's
We
one of the,
will.
but that's one of the things we need to clarify in our next
If
meeting.
anything happens, we'll probably lose.
No, Tish said we're plus money.
Okay,
How can we be plus money?
Because we got
They
reimbursed.
only pay 65%. They don't pay.
they paid 65%, we paid.
Yeah, I talked to Tish, she
Or
said we're.
75.
Okay.
So we are
Yeah.
not
Okay.
getting reimbursed everything. I
Okay,
can't
so
figure that out.
we,
And Mary, let me just say one more thing in closing.
of course,
Heated discussions. But I would expect that all the hard work you folks do doesn't include insulting somebody from the public just to bring up some information. That's beneath your ability and the hard work that you folks do. And if somebody from the public comes in here to make statements, I don't understand why they would have to be either insulted in an unprofessional way. And I'm not pointing to you, Joan, I'm just saying that's actually beneath you. That's beneath
Okay.
you, and I didn't.
we
I'm done,
are
thank you.
adjourned, praise God. I'm gonna hang up and